Hi friends, this is Sneha. Hope you guys are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how influencers change our life in subliminal ways or not, and how we have the power to change ourselves. And I'll start with the second topic first. Okay, I saw a post on social media today that specifically said that people don't change, they show you their true colors. It's not true. People can change. Now there's two scenarios, because there are some people that are two-faced, so you'll see their true colors as time goes by, and it's good that they're revealed earlier than later in those cases. In the first case, people can change. We have the power to be who we want by changing our habits. And habits are formed from us by daily steps that we take. Now we can change and make a new habit in about 21 to 48 days, depending on how motivated we are and how on track we are with our habits. So say for example you want to lose weight. Well, it's how consistent are you? Are you doing it on a regular basis? And you can make that happen. We have the power to do whatever we want. The thing is that we have this habit of listening to outside forces that influence us. So that goes into the whole topic of influencers and how they are impacting us and our beliefs. We live in this age, this era, where there is so much information out there. Whether it's in social media, whether it's on news, whether it's in newspapers, whether it's by talking to people, whether it's at work, school, etc. We have so much because of technology. Now, technology was supposed to help us in one way, and it's not helping us in other ways. My biggest beef with technology is we're not present. And I do sometimes, and I'm aware of this, I do sometimes fall into the same thing that most people do as well, as I'm on my phone instead of with the people. Now, sometimes I do it intentionally because I'm aware of who I'm around, but in most places I shouldn't. And one shouldn't. I remember earlier on in my career, and if anybody sees this and it resonates with you, hopefully this is going to be a good story. We all have this habit when we're going to meetings, we take our laptop and our cell phones. Well, in one of my earlier jobs, one of my managers that I work with, I was an analyst at that job, she said, no phones allowed. And I happened to have a phone in one of those meetings, and she picked on me. She's like, yeah, you know that we shouldn't be having phones on this. Put it away. I want you to be present. And while it did put me on the spot in the meeting and I felt embarrassed and it was uncomfortable, it was a great life lesson for me, because I've learned since then to not take my phone with me. And if I have my phone with me, I turn it upside down, so if I get any notifications or any of that, it does not affect my conversation with the person in front of me. Because you're supposed to be, that's how relationships are formed. And we are losing the essence of these relationships. And because we're losing that communication, and one of the fundamentals of being a human being in person, a lot of us are on our cell phones, social media, laptops, trying to find connections. And we have this new niche of people out there called social media influencers. Social media influencers. Some of them may be in the medical industry, some of and they are, and I actually meant to say not medical, but modeling, music, all these sorts of entertainment. And they have, for some of them it's a side thing, for some of them it's a full-time job. They're selling products and or services that are supposed to benefit us. And what I've noticed since this lockdown as I had the opportunity to slow down and observe and look at other things. And I'm a learner for life, so I love learning. So, you know, I've been looking on all sorts of platforms. Notice many of these social media influencers are selling products with misinformation. And the problem is because they're giving misinformation to sell their products, which is their own purpose, their own agenda, that's fine. But you're misleading people into thinking something is good for them when it's not, and it may harm them, right? One of the things that I had noticed for, and not to call anybody out, you know, many of the Indian influencers that I found, there are probably different ones, but the ones that I found would say that the sun is bad for us, that we need sunscreen. And I happen to, I can't troll like Donald Trump. He's an awesome troll. But I try to troll some of these social media influencers and say, hey, this is not bad for you. And they deleted my comment because it's just not going to help them with their agenda of, you know, they need to make money. You know, they've invested in their product, and I get it, or their service, right? And so these social media influencers and influencers everywhere, you know, you also have them in the entertainment industry. If they really think about it, actors, musicians, they all influence our lives in some way, shape, or form. They're constantly selling something in commercials or their films. It's just up to us to make note of it. And if they're doing acting, I'll give you an example. If they're going to be doing acting, you know, for their full-time job, chances are they're going to continue doing that in their personal life or outside. For me, I've been a leader, a manager for years, and I've kind of seen that personality kind of just gel into my personal life as well. I never thought the day would come, but yes, I'm seeing it. So it's just part of your personality, which you can change, which I know was, right? You know, like my family knew a different version of me versus my coworkers. But after the lockdown, I kind of merged them into one. I kind of find it a little bit more comfortable for me, a little bit more fun for me, because it's just, it's more work to adapt. It's easier to be me. Let me put it that way. So yes, so that personality that I had at work, you know, 8 to 10 hours. If you're a coworker and you found this, yes, I'm a troublemaker in the real life as well. So I question everything. I'm not a micromanager. Yes, all of the above, okay? I'm the same person. I'm not any different. I was probably pre-scamdemic, but not anymore. Anyways, just to say that, you know, so you have these influencers that are on social media that our young generations are looking up to for information or just things that they want to buy, and very misleading. And that's where I'm like going into the power of change, right? We can change ourselves. So I never saw myself as that person who would take it upon herself to possibly even create a YouTube channel or share all these triggering posts on social media, because it wasn't my cup of tea. But I did change because I felt like I had fun. In fact, I mentioned this to one of my my high school friends that I connected with in the lockdown. It's different from what I did at work initially, because it was a different type of people. At work, it's a different type of people. In, you know, social media, it was a different range, because I had like high school friends, college friends, I had some family. It was a mixture, even some, you know, moms of some of the friends that my kids had. So it was quite interesting, the initial feedback or not feedback that I got from my posts that I was doing on social media. But I had fun and I found a passion from it, right? And so that's what it is, right? We as you change, you find your passion. And as you step outside your comfort zone, you can find your passion. If you are consistently in your comfort zone, you may not, and you may constantly be looking for that thing to fulfill you. And everybody's definition of success is different. And this was actually one of the most intriguing questions I've ever had on an interview. And so there's an interview tip here. So what do you define as success? You know, and I thought about it even after the interview, and I'm like, everybody views it differently. And that was my answer. Because I could say a project is successful if it's within the budget. And someone could say a project is successful if it's within the budget and the timeline. Someone else can say a project is successful if it's within the budget, the timeline, and the customers are happy. Now, if that's the case, I don't think any project would be successful in the last case, because majority of the time the customers are not usually happy. There's always a problem. I'll just take, for example, all the products that the social media influencers are selling. They're happy temporarily, but then once you get the product, then you find certain issues. So there's always something. It's that cyclical cycle. And so, yeah, and the key is to consistently step outside your comfort zone and look into what makes you happy. And what makes others happy is not necessarily what makes you happy. That is the root of what I've seen in the corporate industry of, okay, I want to do what this person has, but it's not necessarily what this person has is what they want. Everybody has a different timeline that they're working against, whether it's their personal life, their career, etc. On that note, I'm going to end this video. If you like my content, please like this video. If you have any comments and suggestions for future videos, please add a comment. Subscribe to my channel for new videos. Thank you and have a great one. Bye.